Hey, good morning or early afternoon, everybody. This is Lisa Lashendro. I am one of the annuity sales directors here at IAMS, and I've got my partner in crime, Rob, on the phone. He handles the preset appointment program that we have exclusively here at IAMS as well, whether we're talking about K through 12 or federal leads, and we'll get into that. And the way Rob and I like to play it with our webinars is we like that interaction. So at any time, feel free to use that questions box and we'll keep an eye on that and get that interaction going with you guys. It's kind of like a podcast or a conversation. So it's not going to be a formal, PowerPoint show. This is going to be more informational in how this program works. So I do see that we have quite a few names here. We've got a nice audience here today, Rob, um, which I'm excited to
Nice.
always
We'll try
see.
and be funny for all of you along the way too.
Leave it to Rob. Leave it to Rob. Anyway, yeah, so a lot of you guys, I'm going to go through some of I want to highlight some things that we have here at IAMS for our contracted producers and agents. I do see new names on here, so I want to make sure you are all very much aware of the quality of service that you get with IAMS, what separates us from the other guys, and just kind of give you a quick highlight with that. So I'm going to quickly run through this. If you at any time ever have questions, jot them down or put them in the questions tab. And if I don't address it today, I'll address it when I follow up with you after the webinar. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and get started so we can start hearing from our boy Rob about his programs. Right out of the gate, when you're working with IAMS and when you get first contracted with us, we have our new producer builders program. And what I like about this is that we're giving you some extra credit. We're really working with you to not just look at, here you get $750 for $100 or 100,000 in production, or here's, preset appointment, free appointments, at $1 million in production or whatnot. Every single one of these agents that I work with, you guys all have different structures to your business. Some of you are more of a webinar guy, some of you are more of a workshop guy or gal. Some are just into preset appointments and working virtually. Not one agent works exactly the same as the other one every single time. So what I like about this new producer builders program is that these are just ideas of the kind of bonuses that you can get once you hit one of those levels, 100,000 or all the way up to a million. Or I won't stop you at a million, trust me, we'll keep going. But know that we're going to customize some ideas for you and think outside the box for you. And our goal with the new producer builders program is to grow your business, help that partnership between you and IAMS, and let IAMS help you grow that business. So that's the backstory on that. Next, I think the best compliment you can get in our business is a referral. Well, IAMS would love those referrals as well. And if you're sending a referral over to us, that's an amazing compliment. We are going to make sure you are aware that we appreciate that by giving you an override that comes out of our pocket. And this does not shave anything off of your buddy that you're referring over to us. So whether it's Life Target, Index Annuity, SPL, or MIGA business, we're going to give you those overrides paid out once every quarter. And again, that is a check personally written from IAMS to you, because without you, we wouldn't see that business come in the door. So keep that in mind. If you ever have somebody that you think would be a good fit and benefit with us as well as you have, then definitely let your director know, and we'll be sure we get you on this referral producer program. When you are working with IAMS, you're absolutely going to be aware of the outstanding back office support, the customer service we provide. We have no voicemail. When you call in the first 2 or 3 rings, you're going to get a live body every time you call IAMS. during our work hours, obvi. But and then you ask for, you've got an accounting problem, or you've got a new business application that you need help with, or maybe it's case design. You need your annuity sales director or your life sales director. You ask for them. If they're not available, you ask for the next available person, and we will answer your questions right then and there. So you get that customer service right away. We will sit on the phone with those carriers for an hour at a time if need be, or whatever it takes to get you the answers or status on your cases. Our purpose in our back office support and our customer service is to make sure that you are out there talking to people. We want you as on as many appointments as possible. Let us do your casework. Let us do your case design. Let us do your follow-ups for you, with whether that's on the medical side, with the life side, or whatever. That is where we rise and shine. So keep that in mind. Let me know if you ever have questions. On top of our back office support, we have our IAMS website. I encourage you all to save this to your favorites in your on your browser. It's www.imsinc.com. Here you have term quoters, you have annuity rate watch, you have resources, sales resources, and a plethora of information. If you ever want us to give you a little tour of our website and all the benefits you can reap from that, just give us a holler. Let us know. I'd be happy to share that with you. Including on our website, we do have Firelight, one of the best e-app resources out there. If you have not used Firelight before, I encourage you to give us a call. Let us help you get set up on it. I've got step-by-step instructions easily sent to you. Um, and then I'm more than happy to walk you through how that process works. Now, any carrier I've ever had on a webinar, they have also agreed, if you want your turnaround time and your application reviewed much faster and in good order, Firelight is going to be the tool that you're going to want to use for that. Any questions on Firelight, just give me a holler and let me know. Our creative marketing solutions resource here at IAMS is outstanding. These guys are all employees of IAMS. So we're not outsourcing any of this stuff. I can literally send you over to Sean or Jacob or any of our guys or gals in creative and talk out, maybe a logo design. I was just talking to an agent um, earlier this morning, and he was looking at, you know, um, exploring, a way to advertise what he's doing to a retirement community. So we're talking about a logo, we're talking about maybe creating a website, some of those things, and all that's done in-house here at IAMS. So the sky's the limit. If there's any marketing solutions, or might need to do a marketing analysis for you and um, your business, let your annuity or life director know, and we'll be happy to get that going for you. Next, I want to talk to you a little bit about IAMS Wealth Management. Our IAMS Wealth Management team, I'm going to launch a poll while I talk about this, but our IAMS Wealth Management team is a resource that you have here at IAMS. And Steve and Charles thought about this years ago. What else could we really add to the table to be that one-stop shop for our producers, our agents, our registered reps? And they developed IAMS Wealth Management. Now, I like to point out two things with IAMS Wealth Management. If you like the service and the resources that you have on the life and annuity side, then IAMS Wealth Management is going to blow you away on their end as well. They're going to do the exact same thing, except along with, being part of IAMS Wealth Management, they can help you design or create a website. They help you with all the compliance stuff. Again, the goal there is for you to be in front of people and let us do all the back office stuff for you. That's one thing I want to point out. The second thing I want to point out is the fact that if you're not registered and you have a client that needs a registered product, you can also utilize IAMS Wealth Management for that. And the cool thing is if you ever decide to get registered or take your license, your 6 or 63 or 7, whatever it is, then we will transfer that client back to you. I don't know anybody in this industry that will do that. Your buddy down the street, you're sending him, but the thing of it is that he's going to want a piece of the fixed products too. So now he's got his hands in your client's pockets. This is a great way for you to control who your client talks to. Make sure that they're working with you and making sure that you're not having to split any more commission than what you have to. So let us know if you have any questions. Definitely hit yes on this box, and one of our IAMS Wealth Management folks will get in touch with you. So thanks for answering that. I'm going to close that poll. Keep on moving. Ooh, our Life and Annuity Academy. I'm going to launch another poll on this one. This is a really popular subject, especially when we have these academies several times a year. So we just wrapped up our last academy about a month ago. And this is a 2.5-day academy that we send you to. We pay for everything. You can leave your wallet at home. Just bring your driver's license so you can get on the plane, and we'll take care of the rest. You're going to be hearing from the best in the industry. You're going to hearing about these preset appointment ideas and what's working as far as marketing strategies go. You're going to walk away with tools to grow your business. That's the goal, and IAMS is paying for it. So definitely hit yes here. If you want the registration link for that, you can go onto our website and register. But I'd be happy to get you that registration as well and answer any questions you might have. So thanks everybody for answering that poll, and we are almost through here. All right, we've just wrapped up our qualification period for our top producer trip. This year it's going to be at the Greenbrier. Keep note that we do have trips coming up and scheduled. We're just finalizing some things, but the qualifications period has started. So don't feel like you have to wait to hear about the next announced trip. That production that you are bringing in already this year will count towards that. So let us know if you have any questions on any qualification points or where you might be at. All right. Rob, I have finished.
You have?
I
Dang.
have.
I thought you needed to take a break there for a second.
I I know. I mean, I thought I was breathing, but I'm not quite sure.
Exactly. Good morning, everybody. Thank you. Thank you for spending your valuable time with us today. It's the Rob and Lisa show, or the Lisa and Rob show. Ha ha ha. Right.
Right.
But Lisa brings up some good points for everybody. We're a partner with IAMS. We've been working together. How many years have it been now, Lisa? 5 or 6? 5, something like that.
Feels like
Time
20, but
flies.
okay.
Yeah. I'm not that bad, am I?
I'm joking.
Anyway, she makes some good points. Our appointment setting system is really good. I think, there's other programs they offer aside from our appointment setting system. But I think the big thing is they offer you the support. Lots of IMOs out there that, just want to have your contract and don't offer the additional support. And one other comment I'd like to say before we jump into the appointment setting system and how it works, just a little overview on it is that I kind of want to reiterate on is what Lisa's telling you, if you guys kind of read between the lines through all that is, a typical agent, spends 2/3 of their day trying to figure, hey, how do I get in front of somebody? How do I see what my client that I have is qualified for, and reaching out to the carrier and having another person they reach out to build their website. Most agents I talk to spend about 2/3 of their day doing that, 1/3 of their day kneecap to kneecap, or, in this case, Zoom or on the phone with a client. That's where you actually make your money. If IAMS and Lisa and her team can organize it where they line you up with a marketing group like us to fill up your pipeline and help build your websites and do all the tedious work that doesn't make you any money. I mean, long term it does. It needs to be done, but let them do it. Let us do it. We're experts in those areas, and if we can free up that 2/3 of the time for your income's going to go up 2.5 to 3 times, because we're going to put you in front of people when you've been trying to figure out how to put yourself in front of people. So, it's you got a half a year to go. I don't know what your goals were at the beginning of the year, but if you're in the insurance business, the only thing that makes it tick is activity, and you have to keep your pipeline full. So
Mm-hmm.
that would be my one comment about that. The other thing is, it's kind of ironic, but I talk to Lisa and the team over at IAMS a couple times, usually weekly, and Lisa is right. They do answer the phone right away. So it's one of those two ringers, and there's always a live person, which is really kind of nice. So to get on a little bit about, what our appointment system is and what it is that's different about it, for those of you that have been in the insurance industry, number one, we are not a lead company. We're an appointment setting company. So it's not something that's resold 50 times over. You won't run into hey, I bought 100 leads and the first 60 people didn't answer. The next 30 of them told me to, take them off the list for the 50th time, and you got a shot at the last 10. That'll never happen. The last 10 of them, you're doing the pivot song and dance on. Well, hey, I just wanted to win a free iPad. I didn't want insurance. So the second thing that we don't do on our side is we never give anything away for free when we try and create an appointment. We reach out to these potential clients and we talk to them about pensions and retirement or life insurance. I mean, depending on what kind of appointment you're buying. But it's straight up front. We're like, hey, would you like to know more about your pension? When can you retire? How many more years you possibly have to work? What kind of options are available for income when you retire? If those people say no, they're not interested in it, they go down the road. If it's yes, they engage a little bit further. Yes, I do want to meet with the representative. From there, the third thing that's different about what we do is we actually have the client create the appointment. So the client creates the appointment for the date and the time of the appointment, which is nice. And then the last part of it, that makes it really good is because of your association with IAMS, you guys have zero upfront cost. A lot of lead companies or lead type sources, activity sources, you guys got to out of pocket, $3, $4, $5 up front. This is not that way. Because of your association with IAMS, we waive any sign-up fees. They're taking care of them for you. Monthly access fees, they're taking care of them for you. Won't be billed a dime. You have no contracts. It's, whether you want to get one appointment or 100 appointments, it all depends on your calendar availability. We'll talk about that in a second. But the nice thing is you just billed on the day of the appointment. So if you end up having 3 appointments next Thursday at 3:00, we'll confirm them. If we end up losing an appointment, it'll come off your calendar, but we actually bill you on the day of the appointment. Lisa, do you want to tell them what the price is now, or you want to wait?
Yeah, that's always the first thing on everybody's mind. What's this going to cost me? And it's $64 per appointment. I do want to back up just a little bit. These appointments, and I get this question all the time, Rob, and maybe you can, go over this a little bit too. But how are these appointments generated? And
Yeah.
are they pre-qualified? And, those are the two biggest questions I think I get when I'm talking to folks about our preset appointment programs here. So, Rob, do you want to cover that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. As far as how they're created, everything we do on our site's digital. Our system's fully automated. When we reach out to them, those are the basic questions we ask. And Lise, do you want me to jump into where they're created first and then get into that part, or do you just want me to
Yeah,
go over the other
yeah.
part?
So
Okay.
how they're
So
generated.
yeah, on the generated side, number one, what markets do we look at? The markets that we create appointments in would be the K through 12. Think about school teachers and school district employees. That's one group we can reach out to. The next one would be colleges, universities, community colleges, that area. We also do the city, county, municipalities. So think about a policeman, fireman, city, county, municipal worker, the mayor's secretary, whatever. The next area is going to be the city, county, state-owned hospitals. So if you have a city, county, state-owned hospital system in your area, then that would be available to you. Some of the times, like the University of Michigan has the University of Michigan staff, right? But then they have the University of Michigan Medical Center. I think that's one of the ones that's separated out. As I remember, you could specifically run the University of Michigan Medical Center, which is a state-owned hospital. And then the last area is going to be the federal market. So we do appointments in the federal market. It is going to be the VA hospitals, pretty much that area. We don't have very much postal um, data, if that makes sense. We do appointments in every state in the country. And along with those, hey, what happens and how they're created, of course, like I said, everything's digitally. We reach out to them either via email, geofencing, pinpoint marketing, that kind of stuff. We don't do any Facebook marketing at all. We just found that's not prosperous for the agent on our side, at least the quality of appointment. But we reach out to them, and when we engage them, again, like I just said, we ask them a few qualifying questions. Hey, are you interested in learning about your pension and retirement? And like I said, it's either yes or no. If it's no, we let them go by the wayside. If it's yes, then we re-engage a little bit more with a few different qualifying questions, such as, would you like to know how many more years you possibly have to work? How long you have to work? What options are available for income when you retire? Those type of questions. And if they go, yes, I do want to meet with a representative, from there, they will go in, they create an appointment. Now, what happens with that appointment? It's delivered into our system. Our system grabs it, and it would look at it. And I always use Cherry Creek Unified School District in Denver, Colorado area. Lisa, just let's say Lisa has opted in for that school district. The system would grab that appointment and go, oh, who's the agents that opted in? Oh, it's Rob and Lisa. Lisa's up. It would look at the appointment. Oh, it's 3:00 on Tuesday the 3rd, and try and deliver it to Lisa's calendar. If Lisa were busy, it would flip around and it would try and deliver it to my calendar. So our system creates a calendar for you. Everybody's like, what's this calendar about? Our system creates a calendar for you. We are looking for time where you're open. So the nice thing about what we do on our side, our system runs from 7 a.m. till 8 p.m. Monday through Friday. You can opt in for Saturdays or Sundays independently. But the nice thing is if you go, hey, I won the trip to the IAMS convention or awards or whatever. You could go, hey, I'm going to be gone next Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You just block that out on your calendar. You won't receive any appointments. So the system is running automatic. The other nice thing, and I've had a few agents comment about this, and Lisa and I talked about it last time, is, if you've been in this industry for 2 years or 25 years, doesn't really matter. I'm like, how are your vacations? And every agent has always said the same thing to me. My vacation is half a vacation. They go, hey, I leave on a Friday. I don't have to be back till the following Sunday, right? And I'm going to Hawaii or wherever. But all of a sudden, Wednesday, Thursday of that coming week, I'm sitting there laying in my lounge chair by the pool with my funny umbrella drink, right? And I start thinking, oh man, it's Wednesday and Thursday, Friday, I got to get back. I'm back on Sunday and Monday. I don't have anything on my calendar. Well, the nice thing is you block your calendar out for vacation that week, and then our system shuts off, and then Wednesday, Thursday, it returns on because it sees you're open next Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And all of a sudden, ding, 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 you're sitting there by the pool. If you register in our system with your cell phone, a couple things will happen when an appointment's delivered. Number one, it'll send you a text. It would say, hey, Lisa, you've had an appointment delivered to your calendar. Please check your calendar and your email. So we would email it to you as well as deliver it to your calendar. And so that's how that process works. Lisa, I know you want to say something.
Yep. Sorry, I got a little frog in my throat. So right now I've got our calendar up. I don't, Rob, you probably aren't logged into where you can
I
see the
am
screen.
not on that. Yep. Yep.
Nope, that's okay. So I've got our calendar up, and this is an example of what your appointment would look like and the type of information that you would receive. Now, we don't want you to call in, I hate to just be blunt, but I'm going to be blunt, scare off the client before you even have the appointment. Let Rob do all of that for you. So what they'll do is Rob's team, they will do all the follow up. They have their system that generates. This is a process. This is a program. So we need to work the program the way it's built to work. Um, so basically, all you need to worry about is just showing up. And I've got, this appointment is with Benjamin on June 11th at 10 a.m. So you are going to know that he's at whatever school district, whatever elementary school. You're going to know where he works at so that you can do your homework and make sure that you are well aware of what that 403B program looks like so you can, answer his questions. We do highly recommend that you make sure that you are well versed with those programs so that you can have an intelligent conversation right out of the gate, have that credibility with the client. And then after at that point, like I said, you have the appointment, or like Rob said, you have the appointment, and that's when your credit card gets billed for the $64. Now, if the client decides to reschedule or calls and cancels, and you report that, then you just don't get charged. So if the appointment didn't happen, you just need to make sure that you're communicating that. But the nice thing about this, like Rob said, is that how much time would it take you? Let's look at this calendar for an example. How much time would that take you to fill up your calendar to look like this, having 2 to 3 or maybe even sometimes 4 appointments in a day? Um, I was an agent for several years and years ago, and I tell you, I spent a lot of time knocking on doors. I didn't have any preset appointment programs like this. If I did, I would have probably stuck with what I'm doing, and you'd have to be talking to somebody else here at IAMS. But anyway, the point is that this is to save you time, and time is money. Um, Rob, do you have anything that you want to chime in on that end?
No, I mean, one thing on that, just, the calendar she's showing you has a lot of appointments. Some people I'm sure are scared away. I don't need 10 appointments a week or 10 appointments or
Hmm.
5 appointments a day. It's all up to you. That's what's cool about the system, is it's very automated, and it's built on however you're built. So you're the one that controls it. You're not pre-ordering anything. Like I said, you don't have to come up with any upfront money. It's just the more time slots you leave open in your calendar, the more appointments you'll receive. The less open, the less you'll receive. There are some agents that use our system as the total system, and Lisa had some of those people, aboard with her that are part of the IAMS team, and do extremely well. I do want to fair warn some of you people. These are not, if you're in the final expense business, it's like turn and burn, one and done. These are going to
Mm-mm.
be 2, 3 appointment closers, so you want to make sure you're monitoring that. Once in a while we'll have an issue. Two things will happen. Either one's, somebody just leaves their calendar wide open, and I assure you, in most cases, if you leave your calendar wide open, and I know some of you out there have participated in other appointment setting companies, and they're probably charging you a whole lot more. Hey, this company was supposed to get me 10 appointments. They charged me $4,500 up front, and it took them 3 months to get me 2 appointments, you know.
Hmm.
So they come into our system and leave the calendar wide open, and all of a sudden we deliver 7 appointments in one day. We can do that. But like I said, it's not the turn and burn like the final expense side. On the good side, the average sale is quite a bit higher as well. But you're creating more of a real client than you are a customer on the other side. I don't know if you have a comment on that, Lise.
Right. So a couple things I want to point out there. I've had agents that, did exactly what Rob thought, or Rob just stated, they left their calendar right open, and the next thing you know, they have 17 appointments that week, and they've never used a Zoom call before. So that was a difficult time for that agent because he was struggling to first figure out what Zoom was all about, and then trying to keep up with all these appointments. And so I would rather, and Rob would rather, you have success with this program and start out slow. Let's start out with a few appointments, or maybe just open up a Wednesday afternoon or whatnot. Let us here at IAMS help you with, Zoom, or if that's something that you need help with, or kind of talking about the process. What's your follow-up process going to be? Because that's key in making this thing successful. And then you want to make sure that you're doing good calendar management and not blocking out the next, or not, having yourself overwhelmed with appointments, the next several weeks after you have had multiple appointments this week, because you got to save some time on your calendar for that second and third appointment. If you're not doing the second and third appointment, then this is just a waste of everybody's time and money. So those are very important tips that I want to make sure that you guys are all aware of. And then
Absolutely.
um,
Absolutely.
the other thing I wanted to point out is, a lot of questions that we get here is, what about training? Does IAMS provide training? Do we have training options for this? And we we do, suggest that you go to, for like the school districts. You'll want to make sure, like I mentioned before, that you're making sure that you are familiar with that 403b plan, or federal plan or pension plan, because you know what you're signing up and the type of appointments you're going to receive. Now, training. We have some training available here in with IAMS, more so on the federal side. But one of our agents, signed up with Rob, what was that? Maybe 2 years ago. And
Hmm.
last year, all he did was pair or these appointments with Rob. That's all he did. He had his calendar full. He simplified his process. He's got it all figured out. And he came in with about 5.5 million in annuity sales and 100,000 in target premium life last year. Not a bad year, especially during COVID. So he does have a program, and he will go on like your first 10 appointments with you. It'd be like a 75-25 split. You keep in the 75%. They do require you have your meeting, and you meet every Friday morning. And that is actually Pacific time. Look at that. And they can help you generate reports for the clients and all sorts of things. So we do have a resource there for you to help you with those. Other than that, if you have any other particular questions, or you have an appointment with this young couple or whatnot, you call your annuity or life director, and you have us help you through those cases. And that's another big support that you have here. um I do have a question in the question box here, Rob. Do we get charged for all 3 appointments for each referral appointment? um
Um,
I
so let's go over that really quick. You're only billed on the original appointment. So let's just say, for example, then this happens. Um, there is a note section in the thing. Let's not talk about referrals for a second. Sometimes you'll have a client go, "Hey, I have a bunch of my peers that want to sit in on this meeting. Is that cool?" Well, I mean, I've seen them where, this, school teacher has 5 other people sitting in with her on a Zoom call. And, we on our side only bill you for the one appointment. Same thing goes any referrals, and any referrals you receive off that thing, that's you. We're just recommending that you ask for them. I have a group that's specifically on their fact finder. I've seen their fact finder, and on the last page of it, after they do their fact finding, they have a form filled out that says, referrals, name, phone number, contact, whatever, email, whatever they have. And they're required to pull that or ask the client of that. And those guys average, it's a little over like 3 or 3.5 referrals per appointment that they're getting on top of it. So, if you look at your discounted appointment price, which is usually over $100, like Lisa said, because of the association with IAMS, you're at 64. I mean, if you can go on one appointment and get 3 referrals out of it as well, you're not paying a whole lot for an appointment, if that makes sense. It's $15 basically for an opportunity to meet with 4 people. But, that's up to you on your guys' side, if that makes sense. But we do not bill on referrals, just on the appointments.
So you're getting a
Um,
lot more
I think,
bang for your buck, is what I'm hearing.
yeah, maybe the question, Lisa, is, hey, if I have 3 appointments, they're maybe asking about no shows, and I might as well tell you guys right now, we do unfortunately bill on no shows. Um, to start with, we're pretty easy on everybody. You're learning our system and how it works. There is a little bit of a learning curve. In that scenario, you'd reach out to myself or somebody else on our team over here, and let's just say you had a 10 a.m. appointment and they no showed you. Do we bill on it? Typically, yes. However, two things happen. When we're going through that little honeymoon period, it's usually, a week to 10 days. You have somebody that no shows, it's 10 a.m. We tell you, hey, reach out to us, via text or email, and or give us a call, and we'll remove that appointment for you. Now, the one thing we don't do is, it's 10 o'clock, it's now 10:05, and you send me a text. Well, make a real attempt at it. Call them once or twice. Um, Wait for an hour. If you haven't heard back from them and it's 11 o'clock now, then you would text us. We would go ahead and remove that appointment. You wouldn't be billed on that side of it. What happens once that honeymoon's over is we go through the process of making appointments. We do all the confirming. So when the appointment's first created, we confirm. And then 24 hours prior to the appointment, we do another confirmation, of course. There's times where people, cancel or move the appointment. Well, the cancellations, what happens when the appointment's canceled, it's removed from your calendar. You would receive a notification that it's been removed, and of course, you're not billed. Now, that cancellation, we on our side reach out to that client and try to get them rescheduled. Well, there's many times where we can't get them to reschedule, but they have spent, 7 to 12 minutes. It's about 7 to 12 minutes to create an appointment. And so they did it at one time. So we know there is some in general interest there. We'll reach out to them and reach out to them. Well, a lot of times, like I said, we can't get them to reschedule an appointment. Well, there is going to be a button in your back office that will appear 1 hour after the appointment that says it was a no-show. What happens when you click the button? When you click that button, our system will go in and look at the data of canceled appointments, and it will try and pull up to 3 of those canceled appointments for you. Like I said, you're still going to get billed on the main appointment. Reach out to them. It's your client, but it will go in and grab up to 3 more names out of that pool that you can reach out to. And one of our groups, the one I was just telling you about, the referrals, they have built a pretty good program off of. They've got about a 66% close rate on just those no-show referral ones, if that makes sense. And they'll reach out to the client and go, hey, Sally Sue, I see you. At one time we're interested in getting your pension reviewed and want to know what your retirement income gap or shortfall is. I'd love to help you out. Blah blah blah, and they'll turn around and schedule an appointment with those people. So that's what happens on that. Lisa, did I go down the right path there?
Yes, absolutely. And I responded as well. And really, so it's these appointments that are provided for you, they belong to you now. Rob is not going to come around and bill you again because you had a second or third, or maybe they came back 6 months later. I mean, those guys are yours. So a couple different, scenarios that I want to point out is I've got one of my guys that's also working with IAMS Wealth Management. He does these, and I think I mentioned, he wrote about 500,000, I think it was last month. But these are folks that he has been dripping on, and he has his newsletters that he has that go out, and he has, he follows up with phone calls every here and there, and these guys all contacted him 6 months to 12 months after he initially had the initial appointment that Rob provided, and said, hey, I'm ready to retire, let's get started. And so don't just let those things slide, and go to the curb there. I mean, you want you want to make sure you're utilizing these, and you never know when they're going to come back. You just want to stay in front of them, have a really good follow-up process, and that's what's going to make you successful with these. So whether they show up for the appointment at one point in time, you know they were interested in learning more. So
Absolutely.
that's a great lead. Um, if
One
you,
other comment I have on that too, Lise,
yeah,
really
yeah.
quick. Sorry to interrupt you, but
Mhm,
I think where there's real opportunity here, and the biggest challenge I hear out of agents is the two things. So pre-COVID, I'm talking to a group of 10,000 agents, and I'm on stage, and I'm like, hey, what's the biggest challenge in the financial services industry? And everybody goes, you know, it's the same comment. Hey, how do I get a new client? And I'm like, absolutely, and I'm like, absolutely wrong. And I jump off the stage and I go to some rando, hi, I'm Rob. And the guy goes, I'm Phil or whatever. And I go, I now know Phil. So meeting somebody's pretty easy, right? But it's how do I get Phil to push the finances across the table? That's the challenge.
mhm,
The nice thing is these appointments that we're creating, we're not talking about anything else but their finances. That's number one. And they're expecting to review their retirements with you. So they're going to be an open book on that side. I always say, hey, just review their pension. That's what's in Pandora's box. When you review their pension, I can tell you 91 to 92% of the people that participate in any type of pension have no idea what they're going to retire with. They don't realize there's a shortfall. Now, the second biggest challenge I hear out of, let's say, that same group of agents, because I asked them this question, I said, hey, for those of you, I mean, a lot of agents go, hey, everybody I run into that has some money, has some income, has a job, already has a financial planner. How do I get around it? I've heard every second opinion pitch out there. Some of them are a little bit better, but it's tough, right? It's like, hey, you want to throw the other person under the bus, but only in doing that, you look bad, not they look bad. And so what's a way around that? The nice thing is when you jump into this market, there's a huge opportunity. Going back to the 10,000 people, hey, agents out there, all 10,000, you raise your hand if you have a policeman, fireman, city, county, municipal worker, a professor, a school teacher in your current book of business. Raise your hand. Literally 10,000 hands are in the air. I'm like, hey, keep your hand up if you've ever reviewed their pension. Well, there were 5 hands up in the air. So it's an opportunity, and Lisa and IAMS will take you through that training thing about, the sales process on that. But it's basically, hey, Sally, do you know what you're going to retire with? Well, it's 99% or 90% of the time. It's like, I have no clue. Well, you told me you had a financial advisor. Did they not review this with you? No. Why? Well, you think you're going to make 80 grand a year because that's what you've been making. You're only going to make 40 grand a year. Can you retire on 40 grand? No. Well, I can't believe your advisor didn't go over this with you. Let me review it with you, right?
yeah. Or you
And then
don't
at
want to
the end of it,
duplicate efforts, hey, I don't want to
yeah.
duplicate efforts,
So
what kind of
on
process
that
do you
side, I
already
just think
have?
there's a yeah. I think on that side there's a huge opportunity for
Mhm.
agents because at the end of that pitch, it's like, well, hey, good news, you got a little over half your expectation. Bad news is, you're short this much. What did your advisor put in place? Well, we already know it's nothing. It's a rhetorical question, right? But what do you have in place? Nothing, because they didn't know it existed. Um, you know, well, I guess, with your current advisor, you're going to probably use the Walmart greeter plan to fill that in, right? And you don't want to go, what I'm saying is that's where the opportunity really lies to help these people and open the door. And then they are like, then they're going to get into the rest of the stuff. Oh, well, my dad died and, I had a $500,000 life insurance policy and, I took 100 of it and spent it on the house. So somewhere else, I got 400 grand laying around that you can do something with. So, it's about asking the questions. But I don't know if you have any more comments on that, Lisa.
Yeah, I've got a slide up that kind of goes over the types of sales that you're going to see. So, another thing when I'm talking to agents or they're responding and interested in this program, they're concerned about they kind of just get driven to, oh, these are all just 403B or 457 or pension sales. No, 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 no. I mean, yes, we have the carriers for you for the 403B or, pension, but we're really looking for those opportunities on the annuity and life side or rollover or, those sort of things. So obviously, if you're talking to a 32-year-old teacher and, annuity probably isn't going to be the best suited product for her or solution for for the issue that she has. She's still in that growth area for retirement, right? Well, that's when you might want to switch over to an IUL. She's got kids, she needs, some protection, but hey, let's look at the IUL like a glorified Roth IRA. You know, you start it now when you're young enough, by the time you hit retirement, you're going to be pretty set for tax-free income. So, just kind of think of it as a tool to be able to maneuver into different conversations, and you're going to do that, depending on how your fact finding is going and your discovery call is going. So a lot of opportunity. Like I said, I mean, we have one guy that, I mean, he had 17 life apps in 1 month. I mean, and he does nothing but these all day long. Um, so there is a lot of potential for different types of sales. Now, let's say you're not very familiar with either the annuity or life side. Again, you have IAMS to help you with all that. You just call us with how the conversation went, some of the details of the client, what their goals are and what their situation is, and then we'll help you with everything else, including explaining how to, do the proposal to the client. So you've got us at your fingertips to help you literally from step A to step Z. But Rob, I feel like we've completed, or we've answered. I don't see any other. Oh, I've got some
Questions
people
out there?
saying that they're very interested. Well, that's good.
That's good. So, hey, on that part of it, everybody's probably interested. Hey, what are my next steps? How fast can I get appointments? Once you get through Lisa and reach out to her team, she'll give you guys take you through, get you a VIP sign up uh, code registration that will be able to get you your discounted prices on appointments. And you reach out to her. You reach out to her today. They get you up and running. Typically, once you register in our system, or once they help you get registered in our system, it's usually 2 to 3 days before you'll see your first appointment. One thing we do have is we do have availability to be able to we do have availability of what's called an overflow calendar. What is on the overflow calendar? You can take some of that stuff off there, like in 2 seconds. Right now, you could take stuff off of there. What that looks like is we'll go back to Cherry Creek. Lisa and I are opted in for Cherry Creek Unified School District. 3 school teachers go and create 3 appointments for 3 o'clock on Tuesday the 3rd. One would get delivered to Lisa, one would get delivered to myself. The other one would hit the overflow calendar. What would happen with that appointment on the overflow calendar is it would be accessible to our entire group of agents that are registered in our system. And, it's kind of interesting. One of the nice things about the system is you might be in the college market, you might be in the federal market, but you might not be in the K through 12 market. And all of a sudden you see a K through 12 appointment there and you're like, hey, I want to try one of these. Well, you could go in and grab that appointment. And that's kind of what happens to those. If they sit on the calendar and it's 24 hours out from occurring, our team reaches out to that client and says, hey, we don't have an agent available at that time, and they reschedule it on our side. So, but it is available. It is available for, for an agent to pick up right away, if that makes sense. So
Yep.
usually 2 to 3 days before you'll see your first appointment.
And
Reach
just
out
one
to Lisa
thing,
and her team. Go
yeah,
ahead.
one thing I want to just add to that, I don't think we covered, is that you're not going to get, somebody scrolling through the internet and, at midnight, and then you have an appointment at 7 a.m. You'll never receive an appointment that doesn't give you at least 24-hour notice.
Correct.
So no need to sweat over that. Rob, I do have a poll up right now. If
Mm-hmm.
you are not contracted with IAMS yet, be sure you hit yes on this poll, and I'll make sure I get you a contracting kit. If you are interested in our training programs that I mentioned before, click yes, and I will be sure that we get contact with you, and we'll go over in more detail on how those work. If you are interested in getting registered for these programs, and start receiving appointments, as early as next week, click yes here. I'll get in touch with you and make sure you get all registered and your calendar all set up. And then Rob's team helps you um, every step of the way there too. So um, definitely take advantage of the opportunities that you have here at IAMS, and know that we're here to help you grow your business. I mean, this is just one of the resources that we provide for you guys to get in front of people. That's our goal. Like I said at the beginning of this webinar, we want to do all the back office legwork, time wasting work, that's still necessary, but we want you talking to people, and this is a great way to do that. Rob, is there
Absolutely.
anything that you think that I'm missing
No,
here,
I
or?
mean, my next statement would be, hey, we talked about your goals at the beginning of the call. You probably had something, 6 months ago, whatever it was, at the beginning of the year. Hey, I want to do this year. Well, if you're not halfway there, make a change and do something a little bit different. Hopefully, this is something that can pipeline some of your business back into you and get that activity going so you can make your goal. If you made 200 grand last year and you want to make 400 grand this year, and you're not halfway there, and you're only sitting at 100 grand, you're on course to do what you did last year. Do something different, and get out there and get some activity rolling. So that would be my suggestion. Reach out to Lisa and her team. They'll go over everything with you, and like I said, get you registered inside our system, and we'll get appointments pipelined in, get some activity rolling so you can make those goals.
Yep, absolutely. Well, Rob, as always, it's always a pleasure to hang out with you, and appreciate your time and going over your program, your preset appointment programs, and the opportunities for our agents to grow their business. So appreciate your partnership with us here at IAMS as always. And
Absolutely. It's great being with you as well. And thank you, everybody, for taking the time today.
yep, and I don't see any other questions in the question box, so we're going to wrap up a little bit early. All of you have a great rest of the week. I look forward to speaking with y'all here shortly. I'm going to go ahead and close the poll and send you all off on your merry way. Have a great day, and Rob, we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Take care, everybody.